Can you quickly give us a little charge of what was your take home last week? Briefly, mention or name your country and your take home last week. A brief one. Your take home last week, because that's why we're here today. Does anyone want to give it a shot? So, Andre, what was your take home last week? I'm sure you were here last week.
Yes, sir. So from what we looked at last week, we realized that firstly, it's important for each and every one of us to be resilient. Resilience is not just
Andre,
for one person.
It's you were here last week. Yeah,
can you hear me?
For all of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, there's a need for each and every single one of us to be resilient. For each and every one of us to be resilient. Resilience is not just for one person.
You were here last week.
I think we're having some issues with my audio.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we should be that. Because it's the backbone to success. We encounter so many things along the way that if you are not resilient, you would not be able to go through. So in business, in life, in character, in faith, ministry, work, every part of our life, it's the ability to continue in spite of the challenges.
Thank you so much, Andre. And I saw that Jonathan said that there's personal development without maybe no personal development without resilience. Yes, Frederick.
Yes, for me, my take home last week was that without resilience in leadership, a country may even fail.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Without resilience in leadership, but a whole country will collapse completely. Thank you so much. Another person before we move ahead? Simeon said, resilience is something you can work on. Yeah, it's not a gift. It's a skill that you have to develop on your own. Thank you. Okay, at least we've had some feedback from those who are with us last week. As usual, the three of us on the team, we are more than that, but at least for today, myself, Bumi, and Andre. And our learning objective for today, at the end of the session, you should be able to describe at least 4 causes of low resilience. It's going to be more than that. At least 5 roads to resilience. Let me ask you a question before we move ahead. Why do you think you need to know the causes of low resilience? Why do you need to know the sources of low resilience?
Yeah, see, from what we discussed last week, yeah, it came to light that everybody needs to be resilient in life.
Okay.
To endure. Yeah, to endure. So, for us to come together today, it will help us to know reasons why things are not going on well in certain areas, in certain countries, and even in certain departments of our ministry. So coming together today will help us to unearth the challenges that we are going through.
We are not here Okay, anybody can step in. Why do you think you need to know the reasons for low resilience? You can send in the chat. Yeah, we are waiting for the big part. Let's continue.
Yeah, yes, Daddy. I think it will help us to see why others are able to overcome obstacles, while others are unable to basically overcome obstacles.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah. That it helps us to know why are some people actually overcoming obstacles, and why are some not overcoming obstacles. Thank you, Jeremiah. For our record purpose, we appreciate if you can just please put your name and your country. And in case you have any question, you can send to the chat. We look at it at the end. Thank you so much. Let's move ahead. Like I said, we should be here for just about 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 30. Like last week, I want to do a quick recap. We spoke about resilience, and we said it's the ability to cope with and rise to the inevitable challenges, inevitable problems, and inevitable setback. Your ability to cope with, that's one. And two, to rise above it. That's number two. And not cope with what? Cope with challenges. Rise above what? Rise above challenges. Cope with problems, rise above problems. Cope with setbacks, rise above setbacks. And we say there are inevitable challenges, inevitable problems, inevitable setbacks you meet in the course of your life and come back stronger from them. So it means there is something in you, there is a potential in you that despite all the challenges, despite all the trouble, that you can actually cope with them. Not only will you be able to cope with them, but to be able to rise above them. That's the definition of resilience. And we saw this picture last week. And we said resilience is advancing despite adversity. There's adversity. Non-negotiable. You will have it. But we are saying that resilience is ability to advance despite adversity. And we saw the vehicle, the road was bad, it was steep, yet it was still going. And it will also occur in our lives. And we spoke about types of resilience last week. We said psychological, ability to motivate yourself to do something difficult. And we said emotional, ability to conjure positive emotions when you need them. And we spoke about physical resilience, the capacity to overcome physical challenges. Recapping last week. And we said social resilience, ability to reach out to others for help. There are some people, they couldn't come out of their problem. Why? They can't see themselves asking for help. But it's part of resilience, your ability to reach out to others for help. We spoke about ingredients of resilience, awareness. You must know what is going on around you, and not only around you, inside your head. Thinking also, being able to interpret the events that are going on in a rational way. How you think about them, how you interpret them, will determine how you are going to act. And your resilience level will determine your actions and reactions thereafter. And we spoke about rational. How we call upon others to help us meet the challenges that we face. Because resilience is all about knowing when to ask for help. And fourth one, we said fitness, our mental and physical ability to cope with challenges without becoming ill. Those are the ingredients of resilience. And we look at the benefits. I'm doing a recap of what we had last week, especially for those who are not here. We said resilience will help you to achieve your goals quickly and easily, increase confidence in fulfilling tasks, good work-life balance, less stress, prevention of panic in times of workload or challenges or difficulty, increase productivity, it lowers your anxiety, easier to maintain, emotional stability, better working team, achievement of greater success, dreams, and vision, increased efficiency in fulfilling tasks, increased energy and competency to achieve success, improve self-esteem, improves well-being, reduces conflict, increases positive approach to life, reduces depression, self-motivation, masters life, and increases passion for life and progress. These are some of the benefits of resilience that we came up last week. And we actually mentioned beyond this one also. If you want to know more about it, you can watch our video of last week. And I'm sure you are going to see more benefits of resilience. And we spoke about the effects of poor resilience or lack of resilience. Some may lack it completely, and some may be poor at it. Maybe level 10, 20, 30, 40. The first thing we mentioned was irritability, mood swing. We are never happy. Anxiety, disappointment with yourself, tearfulness, or aggression. They're all emotion. Some can be crying because of challenging. Some can be aggressive because of challenging. Lack of motivation, low energy levels, changing overeating habits, smoking, drinking, other substance, avoiding colleagues, avoiding friends, avoiding family, overreacting to minor problems, indecision, easily losing concentration, having difficulty remembering, being easily confused, mental exhaustion, lower immune system, heart disease. Can you see how it has to do with your health? Heart disease, cardiovascular problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, burnout, weight gain, cognitive impairment. These are some of the things we mentioned last week. I don't know, in case I've left some out and you want to add to it. If you are here last week, you can just please mention it. Like we said, please, can you please send in your name on the chat and your country so that we have our records tidy? Thank you. Does anybody want to add to some of the benefits or some of the consequences that we mentioned last week? If you were here last week and you want to share that, oh, maybe there's something we missed out that was mentioned last week. Okay. So does it mean, those of you who are here last week, does it mean the recap was adequate? If it's adequate, can you type yes? If you think it's adequate, can you just type yes? Those of you who are here last week. If you think that we have done, okay. Frederick said yes, thank you, Frederick. Vandy said yes, thank you, Vandy. Satana said yes, thank you, sir. Oh, Jonathan and Esther said yes. Okay, that we had adequate feedback. Okay, Jamiru said yes, thank you, Jamiru. Okay, so let's quickly move to what we have today. We have looked at the effect and benefits. We have looked at the effects. Let's look at causes of lack of resilience. Can we mention some causes of lack of resilience? Why do you think some people are not resilient? Why do you think some people are not resilient? You can unmute yourself and speak, or you can send in a text message. This is supposed to be an interactive session. Why do you think some people are not resilient? Okay, sir said fear. Okay, somebody said fear. What's that thing again? Why do you think some people are not resilient? Why are they not courageous? Okay, lack of preparation. Douglas from UK, thank you. Lack of preparation. Yakubu, I can see your hands up. Impatience, thank you, Ruth.
Yes.
Their background and upbringing, thank you, Leslie.
Did you hear my answer?
Extortion.
Yes, lack of
Extortion,
motivation.
Lack of motivation, yes, thank you. Low self-esteem and lack of faith, thank you, Paul.
Yeah, stress, being stressful.
Distressful, okay. Thank you. So we are given some reasons why some people are not resilient. Can we actually overcome these challenges? Yes or no? Can we overcome these challenges?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Let's say yes. So we can overcome the challenges. Let's quickly, let me go through some of the few things like we hear. Poor work ethic. For example, at your workplace, maybe you ought to be there by 8, plan your time, manage your time, read ahead, prepare for the meeting. When you have a poor work ethic in your place of work, it becomes a big challenge for you to actually be able to be resilient. It's difficult for you to actually be resilient if you have a poor work. Apart from that one, unfamiliar with equipment. You know, I'm looking at it in a general aspect of life. This is for your career also. If you are not familiar with the equipment, you won't have the confidence to actually use it. I remember some few years ago, when computer was just coming into the market, that's in the late 80s and early 90s. The popular notion was that it's going to take away their work. And I used to have an uncle. He works in one of the big banks then. You will see him cover his computer there. And one day we were discussing about the new banks that are coming up. And he said, all these mushroom banks, they will still go down. Those mushroom banks are rolling the continent right now. Because he wasn't familiar with his computer, he couldn't actually use it. So if you are not familiar with the equipment, you are not likely to be resilient. Poor peer relationship. So you begin to see also, when there's no relationship, when you have a poor people management, and the number of people have that one, you won't be able to ask for help. You won't be able to relate with them. You won't be able to tap into their strengths. You won't be able to help them because you have poor relationship. And it can be in a marriage. If there's a poor relationship, the husband may not be actually resilient and the wife may not be resilient. And don't be surprised, the children may not be resilient. Lack of social support. We all need support in one way or the other. But it can be just a commendation. It can be an appreciation. It can be somebody pushing you to actually moving ahead. So when you lack social support, then it becomes a bit challenging to actually be able to get resilient. Substance use. Let me ask you a question. How can substance use affect resilience? Does anybody want to respond? How can substance use, the use of drug, how can that affect resilience? How can substance use affect resilience?
Yeah, Jamiru here. One of the things is when you for majority of the time, based on what I've heard and seen, people take substance abuse to let go of their issues, thinking they'll forget about it for that period of time. And then what the causes of that is this: when you take any substance abuse, what happens is, yes, for the time being, but then after you come back to your normal senses, the problem still exists. Some could not stand it. They will just resort back to by deteriorating. Instead of having a, let's say, positive outlook of things, it will be just negative and not thinking they have the capacity, either mental or physical or psychological capacity to be able to withstand whatever issue it is that they're going through. So as a result, they'll just throw in the towel, give up to say, well, it is over for me. So they'll not be able to resist. That resilience will not be there. So because of that substance abuse, they'll just, it's like they go back on it. They're thinking that's the solution. In other words, whenever I feel this way, let me go back and take whatever drugs or what have you I'm going to take, so that I'll forget the problem, or I'll forget the stressful situations or whatever issues that I'm going through. Let me just take this, then I'll forget about it. It's easier that way. That's like what we call a cop-out. We call a cop-out. In other words, you don't want to face the problem. You want to, like, say, just drink the problem or smoke the problem or drug the problem, thinking that will be solutions for you, but not knowing is harming you the more, draining you until you're digging your own grave. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Jamiru. There's some contribution from the chat. Ruth said that substance abuse leads to loss of control, and that's true. And Frederick said it produces hallucination and imaginary ideas. Thank you, Frederick. And Ruth equally added another one. He said it also increases vulnerability. And Seth said it influences your decision, most time negatively. Thank you, sir. And Simon said you become dependent on this substance that don't solve the issue. Thank you so much. So we can see that the use of substance, it could be for a short-term usage, but you discover that at the end, it does not solve the problem. At the end, it doesn't solve the problem. The problem continues. Thank you so much. Another contribution on substance use? Another contribution? Okay, if there's none, let's move ahead. Childhood experience, especially for some of us that actually grew up in this part of the world. In Africa, there are several times, I'm sure, I don't know about you, but many times what you hear most in those that you can't do it. Sit down there, don't carry it, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. We hear more of negatives as we are growing up. We are seldom pushed to come out of our cocoon. We are seldom pushed to take up new ideas. For example, somebody may see a child that is always using screwdriver to open toys. In fact, they will tell you that this child is very destructive. And I'm sure if it is now, they might even say it is demonic issue. It is demonic issue. But now, you discover that if you see a child that is always on screw toy, somebody with a positive mindset might actually say, oh, possibly it's going to be an engineer, and may allow him to explore. But our background at times actually affect us. Like Dr. Kukroy says, in the past, drugs like cocaine have been used, which give booster, but what is equal what gives burnout. Thank you so much, Douglas. So we can see clearly from there that our background have a power to affect our resilience level. Personal problems, challenges, loss of money, loss of relative, maybe poor performance in school, maybe some deformity. If you are not actually helped, personal problem can actually what? Cause lack of resilience. Unfamiliar with the process. Maybe the process of getting things done. You don't know how to do it. It can be frustrating. And that's why the issue of skill acquisition is very important. Whichever career you find yourself, equip yourself in such a way that you can actually be able to make contribution. You know, somebody said fear at the initial stage. I've seen people have ongoing to meeting. They have good suggestions, and instead of speaking up, they can't speak up. They would rather put their head under the table. Some might be saying, no, No, no. He or she does not have the capacity to say no. What to say is not correct. Might be grumbling under. And some may be drawing their hands under the table and say, oh, they can't raise up their hand. And somebody will raise up their hands and probably speak. So that's what I actually wanted to say. So you can see clearly that it is very important that we look at these issues. We said number one, personal problem, poor work ethic, lack of ability, poor peer relationship, unfamiliar with process, lack of social support, childhood experiences, substance abuse, unfamiliar with equipment, low motivation. Low motivation also can cause lack of resistance if there is no encouragement, not to motivate you. So you can't stand, you can't speak up, you can't raise up your head, you can't break new grounds. It affects your morale when there's no motivation. And that is why we need to actually motivate people that you are working with, motivate your children. In fact, motivate your spouse. Husband can motivate the wife can motivate the husband. All these things help in resilience. Low self-esteem, like I mentioned it also, did affect esteem. Unrealistic plan. Let me ask a question. How can unrealistic plan affect your resilience? How can unrealistic plan affect resilience? Anyone can respond. You can speak up or you can send your chat. How can unrealistic plan affect resilience?
Because if the plans are unrealistic, then they're not achievable. And if the plans are unachievable, it can lead to depression. It can lead to divisions within the group. And it can really lead to waste of resources.
Thank you so much, Douglas. So you can see that the plan you have are just unrealistic. You can't achieve it. And because you can't achieve it, it might lead to depression, it might lead to division in the group. So there's no coherence. For example, maybe somebody is just in maybe year one in the college. And he said, oh, within the next 4 years, I'm going to have my PhD. It's not realistic. Except that you are going to print the certificate yourself. But if you are going to go through a proper school, it's not realistic. By the time you work towards it, you can't accomplish it. Or you are just graduating from the college. And you say, oh, I've set a good target in the next 2 years. I must fly my own private jet. I must have a company that employs 1,000 people. It's not realistic. And Leslie said, it can become overwhelming. Thank you. And Jonathan said, it will frustrate you and your team. Thank you so much. So when your plans are not realistic, it's honestly going to affect your resilience ability. So when you are setting a plan, let it be realistic. Absence of divine support. Maybe I shall allow you to comment on that one. How can absence of divine support affect resilience? How can absence of divine support affect divine resilience? Does anybody want to comment? Some people came strongly on this one last week.
Josiah,
yes, you can go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Josiah here, sir.
Now, Josiah, over to you.
Okay, I was just saying absence of the right support, because I mean the saying itself points to frustration, because there has to be a support that resonates with the issue at hand. If the support is not relating, it cannot connect to the issue at hand, definitely you will just be pouring water on duck's back, and by so doing you may end up being frustrated. And that will impact negatively on your resilience.
Sorry, thank you, Josiah. Oh, are you still talking? I see on your feet.
I've concluded, actually. I was just saying that absence of the right support is just like pouring water on dog's back, because it won't get the desired effect, because it is just not the support that you are having won't resonate to the issue at hand.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Josiah. Any other comments?
Yeah, Jamiru here. Well, for one thing, as a believer, I believe divine support that's the first step. You know, if you know, planning anything, you have to plan it divinely. Is this the will of God? Is this what God want me to do? And then if it is, you clearly hear from him and you have that sense of go ahead. I'm pretty sure no matter how the storm is, no matter how the difficulty is, you'll be resilient enough to be able to overcome it all. But then what happens if it's not divinely, you don't have divine support, the end result will be negative when you hit the road. You know, when you get to the end of the road or the storm, you enter through the storm, what's going to happen? You're just going to give up, you know. But then when we have that divine support, you just know, I must keep going on, because the devil is also the adversary that is going to try to stop you from achieving greatness, from achieving something that you know, either the pathway to your destiny, for your purpose. So definitely it's not going to be an easy task, but knowing fully well that it is the will, that divine support, you know, that is, for example, the Holy Spirit being with you, being your helper, will be able to help you to resist whatever it is that the devil throws at you, or humans.
Thank you so much,
Jamiru, in achieving your goal.
One more comment. How could absence of divine support causes lack of resilience? Okay, let me just, in addition to what Jamiru said and Josiah, no, your thinking is as strong as reality. Behind you, when you see that, oh, no matter what, I can make progress because I have a divine support. It stimulates you to go ahead. You know, in the Western world, even when all the facilities seem to be there, the suicide rate seems to be higher than in some less developed countries like Africa. And I strongly believe that one of the reasons why they had a higher suicidal rate was that one, the circumstances around them failed. You are lonely. Thank you, Frederick said he put the man in a lonely cage. They look at facts. And because the facts cannot get anywhere, they give up. But you and I, or whoever have a desired advice upon, it will just say that despite these facts and these challenges, I can see more progress. And we are seeing that one as some of the reasons why most in African countries, despite all the challenges, people still thrive. When you look up till now, nobody could give us a clear reason why during the COVID, we have high rate of casualty in the Western world than in Africa. Your mindset makes a lot of difference. And your mindset determines how you behave or how you act. Does anybody want to add to it before we move to the next one? Okay, if there's none, what can you say about this picture? What can you say about this woman? Does anybody want to comment about this woman?
Well, there are two words: daunting, unrealistic. Daunting task, you know, or realistic.
Daunting task. Okay. Jamil said down to task. Okay. Any other comment?
Well, I think the challenge of the rock, first of all, seems to be more than her. She doesn't have the right tools. She's wearing a heel, and she does not have to, or she does not seem to have the muscles to get the task done.
Thank you so much. Her dressing, no right to, doesn't seem to have the muscle. So get it down. Thank you. One more comment.
It's an unrealistic. It's an unrealistic goal. She will not be able to achieve.
Unrealistic goal. Okay. Simeon said, doesn't seem humanly possible, but she's still going on. When you look at it to some extent, I'm sure you want to see that at least she has got to some level. And that's why you talk about resilience. There's roadmap to resilience. Remember how we define resilience at the initial stage. Let me quickly take us back there. How we began the issue of resilience. I want to take us back there so that you can see what we are talking about. But that in life, you will get to a place whereby you discover that what challenges and that doesn't seem realistic, and you see actually kept moving. See, remember this is definition of our resilience. Sorry. It's the ability to cope with and rise to the inevitable challenges. She saw a problem. She saw a challenge. She saw a setback. And yet she was still coping with it. I said, resilience is advancing despite adversity. Yes, it looks very challenging and very difficult. But you can see that she kept moving on also. It means there's a roadmap to resilience. The first one that you need to realize, if you are going to be a resilient person, thriving mentality is very important. Having a mentality, not a survivor. What's the difference between a survivor mentality, failure mentality, and thriving mentality? Survivor mentality, thriving mentality, or failure mentality? Does anyone want to respond? For the woman, Ruth said she got a will. Paul said absence of wisdom to accomplish the task. Ruth said there might be a way. Thank you for Ruth and Paul. So I spoke about thriving mentality, failure mentality, survivor mentality. What's the difference between the three? Does anybody want to respond?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, when we're starting with a thriving mentality, see, one with a thriving mentality is the person who has the urge to continue or to hold on to what the task that he wants to accomplish, no matter the challenges, hoping that he will eventually overcome it. And then the failure mentality is that whatever activity or plan that is ahead or want to do, the person don't have the confidence even to work on it. So he's always looking at it as if it will not work. That is a failure mentality.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Between somebody with a thriving mentality, failure mentality, and survivor mentality, if they have the same challenges, who is likely going to succeed? Who's likely going to succeed, the thriving, the survivor, or the failure mentality?
Well, I would take surviving mentality because of that. That mindset promotes what we call self-empowerment and give you the ability to overcome any trauma, whatever is on your way, because you are in the survivor mode. It's like by any means necessary. Any means necessary. I must get this done. I must get the task done, the job done. So I would prefer a surviving mentality.
Okay. Any other comment? So what's the difference between thriving mentality or surviving mentality? What's the difference?
Well, for me, if I was to define it, like I just said about surviving, thriving is like, okay, let me just give it my best. Let me just give it my best. I'm thriving to get it done, but it's not a matter of life and death. And I'll equate that surviving as a matter of life and death for me. It's like a must. But then thriving is like, okay, if I do it, fine. If I don't do it, if I get it 50% done, I'm cool. I thrive. I give myself a pat in the back. But then, surviving is like a do or die.
Hello. Hello, Sola.
Any other comment? Yes.
Hello. Yes. You see, a surviving mentality will survive only if it fits into the environment. A surviving mentality will survive only if it fits. So without the fit, surviving mentality may collapse. But the thriving mentality, even with working against all odds to overcome. So I'll go for a thriving mentality. You strive, you hit it until you overcome. Thank you.
Let me quickly read some things from the chat. Simeon said, surviving mentality is just going with the flow. Thriving mentality comes with a will to make progress. Good. William said, thriving mentality. Sir said, thriving mentality. And in all sincerity, it's thriving. Surviving is like, I just want to coast. That some people say, I'm just surviving. But thriving is that making progress despite challenges. I'm not going to remain at the status quo. I'm not just going to make it to survive, but I want to try. So a man with a thriving mentality, you can't intimidate him or her because of tribe. You can't intimidate him because of education. You can't intimidate her because of gender. You can't intimidate him because of what? Complexion. Because it just concludes that no matter where I get to, I must make progress. Say, oh, the way you are speaking English, you are not speaking like a Queen's English. Say, can you understand me? Since you can understand me, I will go ahead. And I might actually go and learn to do so because I want to try. So when a number of people, they have what they call failure mentality. All they see in every situation is failure. If you are going to have a resilience theory, you must have a thriving mentality, which is saying, no matter my situation, I'm going to make progress. That's thriving. Oh, the teachers are not teaching us well. If I thought they are not teaching us well, I'm going to read and pass. The economy is bad. They are not paying us well. Oh, as for me, I'm going to look for something, equip myself, and do something. Thriving. Number two, endurance. Without being able to endure, you can't be resilient. Because you will get to a wit's end at times. And you might think, no, I can't go on at this level. But it takes endurance. When you think, no, that I'm almost finished, one more step, one more step, one more step. It reminded us the story of Thomas Edison that invented light. Somebody asked him, how many times did you fail? He said, I'm sorry, I didn't fail. I only realized how many times the thing never worked. Endurance. But it's like our generation, we are like, I want it now. It's microwave generation. You want to have skill at the tip of hand? It doesn't work that way. You want to have a solid career at the tip of hand? It doesn't work that way. You are going to face challenges. You will face difficulty. Many marriages had failed because there was no endurance. Many businesses had failed at the brink of success because there was no endurance. Oh, not only do our politicians not have endurance, even the followers, they don't have endurance. They expect the leadership to jump in today and for everything to change. Oh, it can only happen in drama, but in reality, it doesn't. There are some prices that we need to pay. So if you are going to be resilient, you must have an endurance spirit. Number 3, realistic optimism. Not just optimism, realistic. There are some are very optimistic, like the plan they had is so bogus, but it's unrealistic. Your being optimistic must be realistic also. You look at the evidence of ground, you look at facts. Yes, we are talking about divine support, but you look at situation. Some few years ago, this is a true story. Some few years ago, a young man was in the college, and he told me, I had a dream, this is a true story, that I went to other countries and they were paying me in dollars. I even saw that I was giving money to my families. And I asked him, do you have a passport? He said, no. Are you planning to travel out? He said, no. But I know it will happen. That's almost about 10, 15 years ago. It has never happened. Because that's not realistic optimism. I prefer maybe had a ticket, had a visa, had a passport, and he began to think, what would I do? That they will pay me foreign currency. So your being optimistic must actually be realistic also. There are some things that you know it is possible or it is not possible. Number 4, any question on that one, any contribution? Number 4, competence. Sorry, I kept asking question. How can competence aid your being resilient? How can competence aid your being resilience? Anyone can talk, or you can say, how can competence?
Hello.
How can it aid your resilience? Yes,
Hello.
go ahead.
Yeah, I see competency builds energy and strength. And without competency, and that it creates inferiority complex. And without it, without competency, you cannot lead. So it engraves itself on your ability to perform. So without competency, it is impossible to perform and perform well as a leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Another comment?
Competence, as I say, I'm Josiah here.
Yes, Josiah.
I see competence actually overall enhances progress. Yes, in everything we do. I mean, you have to have the ability. I mean, in terms of skills, knowledge, and you have to be capable. In the absence of that, there is a big gap for you to be resilient. It's not possible. It doesn't. The gap wouldn't support resilience at all. You have to. Competence is a prerequisite for you to be resilient. Because for me, I see it as capability. It enhances your ability to be resilient. That's my answer.
Thank you so much. And Simeon wrote that you become more confident when you know you have the ability to deliver. Thank you so much. You become more confident when you know you have the ability to deliver. And that's just part of it. Without competence, it becomes very difficult for you to actually be resilient. So, can you see confidence and self-belief? You can see a number of things that are interconnected. Without endurance, without competence, you are not likely going to have confidence. You won't even believe in yourself. You are likely going to have inferiority complex because you don't have the competence. You don't know what to say, and you don't know how to handle it. You will feel so much low of yourself. There are some people, especially if they are black in complexion, when they are among people that are white, they can't talk. But when you are so sure of your competence, it helps you to be able to speak, not rudely, but you are just resilient. You know what you are doing. Some few years ago, I was doing a business proposal for a particular organization, and they brought in another guy from UK. He was a banker for several years, one of the top-notch banks there, and we're comparing notes on the business plan. And he spoke to me, said, this cannot work. And he made suggestion. And I told him loud and clear, your suggestion will not work in Sierra Leone. There are some things you can't say defeat should come and give money to private investors. No, they will run through the government. UN will run through the government. But it was of the opinion, no, as individual private investors, you can get results through them. I said, no. I could speak up. Why? Because I have the facts. I've been in the system. I know how it works. So if you are not actually competent, you won't have confidence and you won't be resilient. At the end, unfortunately, the guy that brought us together seemed to believe, because he was a white man, the business never fly. And I knew it will never fly because I know what operates on ground. And he doesn't know. So competence enhances your ability to be resilient. Thank you, Josiah and Frederick. Number 6, flexibility and adaptability. Ability to adjust when situation comes. If you can't adapt, you can't be resilient. You may not change your goal, but you can change your strategy. You may change your strategy. In your business, you may change it. In your career, you may change your strategy. Maybe at the initial stage, maybe as an entrepreneur, you are thinking that, well, I want to be exporting, let me give you an example, cashew. And you are thinking, I'm going to have a cashew farm, and from my farm, I'm going to begin to harvest and export. And suddenly, you discover you don't even have enough equipment for the farm. You can choose to outsource your cashew, buy from somebody else, and say export. You are changing your strategy. You have not changed your business. You can be as a student, and you are saying, sorry, I actually want to go to college and have a degree. And you look at your results, 4 credits. Oh, they won't take me in the college. You can go to Polytechnic, you are changing your strategy. You can go to College of Education, you are changing your strategy. You can go to Technical College, you are changing your strategy. And after that one, you move to the college, you are changing your strategy. It can be as a family man, as a husband. Say, oh, I want a happy home, wonderful home. That's a great goal. And you suddenly, you think that the strategy you are using is not bringing joy. It's not bringing happiness in home. You can change your strategy. Be flexible. If you are not flexible, if you are a perfectionist, you are not likely going to be resilient. You are going to give up and get frustrated. Because if it does not go your way, you got frustrated, you get distracted, you get depressed, and you may give up. Number 7, strong connection. When I talk about strong connection, I'm not talking about sababu. I'm not talking about having a big man. I'm talking about whereby you have a happy home, happy friends, happy family. When those things are surrounding you, go and check people. Let me ask a question before I move ahead. Do you think people that have a happy home, happy friend, peaceful home, peaceful family, are they likely going to be more resilient than somebody who comes from a home whereby there's always fighting, pull you down, disobedience? Who is likely to be more resilient and why?
Yes, sir. I think the man with the happy family, sir.
Okay, Paul said the man with a happy family. Okay. Another comment?
Yes, the happy family, because there's always joy.
The happy family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you know there are some people today that they will never maximize their potential because of the kinds of family they come from, except there's a complete reorientation of their mindset. So when I talk about a connection, like I said, I'm talking about a happy friendship, happy family, happy environment, whereby you are being encouraged that you can do more, you can do more, you can do more. Number 8, look for the positive. I like asking a question, and I'm sure you are going to bear with me. Don't worry, we are going to end up where you said between 1 hour 15 minutes and 1 hour 30. We have spent 59 minutes. Who is likely going to succeed more? The one that is always seen negative or the one that is always seen not positive?
Hello?
Who is likely going to be more resilient?
Hello, Sola, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. See, a positive mindset is acts as a propellant that will propel you. It gives you the encouragement. It gives you the enthusiasm. So one with a positive mind always has a higher percentage of success, greater percentage of success. If you are always of negative, even your energy will be sapping out. So it will be good that we have positive mindset that will carry us through to turn over or get around events and then move on happily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Frederick said, a man or woman with a positive mindset will always be more resilient. And Santigi said, the one that always says positive. And I perfectly agree with you. Two people may have the same challenge, the same difficulty, seen differently. But the one with a positive mindset have a chance of being more resilient. When all you are seeing is negative, you are depressed, you are not happy, you can't take a right, you will feel down. But the positive, even when it's one that is good, it will see the one that is good, say this is good, so we can move ahead. But the negative mindset is always same problem, same difficulty. If you are going to be resilient, look for the positive. Number 9, tame your emotions. Your emotion can be anger, it can be laughter. Tame it. Make sure that it works for you. And like we said last week, if you are resilient, you can always be happy. Even in a difficult situation, you can laugh. But somebody who is not resilient, even a little challenging, it might be crying, it might be weeping, it might be shouting. You don't need to shout. Shouting does not solve the problem. Weeping does not solve the problem. It's the one who grows above in his mind, who is positive. Tame your emotions. Don't allow your emotion to control you. Tame your emotion. Number 10, character. Character. When you have an outstanding character, it's easier for you to actually make progress. But when your character is poor, I can assure you, you are even afraid. You are afraid. You can't make tangible progress. You can't be resilient. Because I say, oh, I may be caught, I may be caught, I may be caught. But when you have an impeccable character, it's a roadmap to resilience. Number 11, practice self-compassion. There are some, they are looking for compassion and affirmation from others. Be compassionate with yourself. Affirm yourself. Don't look until people show you compassion before you give yourself compassion and move ahead. Number 12, remove negativity from your mind. Remove it, uproot it. Uproot negativity from your mind. Number 11, number 13, gather more information. How to gather more information affect our resilience? So can you hear me now? Sorry, are you hearing me?
Yes, Josiah here.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, maybe somebody say I can't hear, maybe because of their own network. So my question was on this, that how can gathering more information affect your resilience?
Josiah here again.
Okay,
I think information equips you better and makes you better prepared for whatever challenge lies ahead. If you are not well informed and you just take a hasty decision and movement, you are likely going to just fail. You are not going to, because you won't be strategic. Your information gathering helps you to be strategic. Your information gives you the right guidance to make you take the right step at the right time. Your timing, your planning, and everything has to be better guided by the information you collect.
Thank you, Josiah. Yeah, you're very correct. Another contribution? I'm talking about gathering more information. How does it make you to be more resilient?
Hello.
Yeah,
Sola.
Frederick.
You see, information is knowledge. And the Bible says that even without knowledge, my people perish. If you lack knowledge, you cannot perform. So for you to be resilient, you need to be knowledgeable about the ecosystem in which you want to operate. So knowledge or information, gathering information will help you gain that knowledge about that particular ecosystem, and you can move around it easily. It gives you the scalability and effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frederick. I perfectly agree with Frederick and Josiah. The more informed you are, the more confident you are. The more informed you are, the more resilient you are likely going to be. Let me share this story with you. Last week, I parked my vehicle beside the office. By the time I was about going home, I discovered that the remote control was no longer working. And we checked the battery, it wasn't working. And we called an electrician, and I looked at him. He opened a particular part of the vehicle, and he brought the compartment for the remote control and the alarm system, and he removed it. And I asked him, will it still work? He said, no, it will work. Only that your alarm system will not work. And he screwed it back. I kept the equipment for the remote control. When I got home, I fixed the remote control. I used the duplicate key of the vehicle. The remote control worked, and the alarm system worked. But that's not the issue now. While I was going out in the morning, as soon as we locked the gate, the vehicle began to alarm. I just kept quiet. I just brought out my screwdriver, disconnect the battery first, the open where he opened also, remove the alarm system. I was so confident that it was going to work. I could remove the alarm system. I could stop the noise without panicking. And I moved to the vehicle and I went to the office. What saved me the embarrassment? I wouldn't be able to go out to the office with the vehicle if I don't have that information. It would be making so much noise, I would have been stressed without that information. I would have to be calling a mechanic and begging him to come to where I was without that information. So you can see, having more information helps you to be more resilient because you're able to do. So studying is very important. Maybe one of these days we are going to look at the benefits of studying and the consequences of not studying in your career, in your family life, in your personal life. We are going to look at it. And maybe that is going to be like a panel discussion because we want our discussion here to be practical. Things you can engage in on day-to-day basis. Gather more information. Your family is not working. Gather more information. Maybe about yourself. Maybe about your spouse. Those whose family are working. Gather information. Why is it working? Do you know you can actually gather information on why homes are not working? And you can say, oh, I now know 20 reasons why homes are not working. And you avoid them. And you can gather 20 reasons why homes are working. And you gather them. Gather information. You have information, you might get a scholarship. You have information, you might know where new works are coming on. Gather information. Thank you so much. Number 14, seek help. We spoke about it several times. Don't die because you want to solve it alone. Ask for help when you have challenges. Ask for help when you get your wits end. Ask for help when you are in difficulty. Ask for help when you don't understand. Future planning. Think about your future. Plan for the future. Don't just plan for now. Don't just think what I can get now. Immediate gratification will not allow you to be resilient. Plan for the future. Number 16, acceptance of the unchangeable. Let me ask you a question. Are there some things in our life that we can't change? Okay, Yebu said, gathering more information makes you more informed about issues, and this will help you make informed decisions. Thank you so much, Yebu. So, my question is this: are there issues in life that you can't change, or you can change all situations?
No, there are unchangeable situations. You know, principles do not change. So life principles will not change. What may change are the factors to implement those life principles.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we can see there are times that some things will change. Accept them. Accept them. You will say, oh, the politicians are not serious. You might not be able to change that situation, but despite their unseriousness, you can still try. Oh, my wife will not change. Despite that situation, you can still try. My husband will not change. Despite that situation, you can still try. The teachers will not teach well. Despite that situation, you can still try. I don't have up-to-date textbook. Despite that situation, you can still try. Oh, I'm not being remunerated or I'm not being set on training in my office. Despite that situation, you can still be resilient. Accept your changeable. Know that there are things you can't change. And once you come, accept that this one I can change. Grace to accept the things you can't change. And grace to change what you can. But there are things you cannot change. But if you want things to change, you are not likely to be resilient. Number 17. Solution orientation. Have a mindset that I'm going to solve this problem. Be looking for solutions in all challenges of life. Those who are always looking for solutions in all challenges of life are more resilient. No matter the problem, as long as they're looking for solutions, they are more resilient. That if this way does not work, I will go this way. If this way does not work, I will go this way. If this way does not work, I will go this way. Solution orientation. Number 18, self-regulation. You should be able to manage yourself. You should be able to control yourself. It's not about everyone that is controlling your life. When they want you to cry, you cry. When you want you to laugh, you laugh. When they want you to run, you run. When they want you to sit down, you sit down. Self-regulation. Ability to know where you are going, how to get there. Yes, you are not throwing away self-help. Number 19, network orientation. I can see some mess. Okay, I think it's there. We must always accept the unchangeable. It makes things easier. Thank you, Leslie. We must always accept the unchangeable. It makes things easier. Thank you. Let me ask a question. Does good networking help you to be more resilient? Yes or no, and why? Good networking, does it make you to be more resilient? Yes or no, and why?
Yeah, Jamiru here. I believe.
Over to Jamiru, go ahead.
Yeah, good networking is always important. Like we talked about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is power. The more network you have, maybe somebody has gone through the same what you're about to embark on. They'll be able to give you information that will be helpful so that you don't walk the same path they did when they failed, or when it was so difficult for them. So having a good network is powerful, so that it will help you in making decisions, the right decisions that will help you.
Thank you so much. Jamilu said, having good network will help you to be more resilient. Any other comments?
Yes, I believe that good networking is excellent because it means that each person in your network will have different areas of influence, and those areas of influence, when brought together in a strategic way, can help you achieve your goals.
Thank you, Josiah. It will help you to achieve your goals because they have different
that was Douglas. That was Douglas.
Oh, sorry, Douglas, sorry. So you can see clearly, networking will help you to achieve your goal because they have different strengths, they have different experiences. One more contribution on networking. I can bring it something out. Maybe one day we are going to look at networking, the power of networking.
Is it Sola?
Yes, Frederick.
Yeah, a good networking is like you enter into a very big market space to trade. So you have different resources and then different areas to explore. So having good network, it gives you a wider area of influence. It's like you are able to swim on the sea, whilst others are just on the land watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we can see 3 different people have made contribution when it comes to networking. It is non-negotiable if you are going to be resilient. You are leveraging on the skill and the experience of other people. So good network orientation helps you to be more resilient. Oh, if I can't get it, I know whom to call. I know whom to talk to. You can learn from them and you can lean on them. Number 20, active belief in a supernatural being. We have spoken about that one. When there's an active belief in a supernatural being, it helps you to be more resilient. And as we round up, I quickly go over again. Causes of lack of resilience: personal problem, poor work ethics, unrealistic plan, lack of ability, poor peer relationships, unfamiliar with equipment, substance abuse, childhood experience, low motivation, unfamiliarity with process, lack of social support, unrealistic plan, low self-esteem, lack of social support, absence of device support. Roadmap to resilience: said thriving, mentality, endurance, realistic optimism, competence, confidence, flexibility, strong connection, look for positive, tame your emotion, character, practice self-compassion, remove negativity from your mind, gather more information, seek help, future planning, acceptance of the unchangeable, solution orientation, self-regulation, network orientation, active belief in supernatural being. Let me quickly go to this quote as I ask you, what is your take home? Thomas Edison said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. DeVrye said, like tiny seed, we potent power to push through tough grounds. Become mighty trees, we hold innate reserves of unimaginable strength. We are resilient. Thomas said, the most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. That's resilient. And Ketri said, like tiny seed, with potent power to put through tough ground and become mighty tree. Seed, tiny seed, mighty tree, tough ground. We hold innate reserve of unimaginable strength. I have unimaginable strength. We are resilient. These are some of the things that we need to actually look at. The benefits of resilience, the consequences of not being resilient, what causes no resilience, and the roadmap to resilience. What is your take home? As we round up, you can ask any question. Do you have any question, any contribution to the point? Any question? Take home? Okay, Sasek, thriving mentality. Thank you so much. Any question or any comment? Then
yes, sir. I will just make it just a quick comment. Yes, sir. This is Jamiro. Let me just say this. You know, thank God for these trainings. It's really powerful. It's awesome. I mean, I call it is life. And something I take from both last week and this week is that each of us embark on a unique journey, you know, and we may encounter what we call hurdles and obstacles that seem insurmountable. But the power of human resilience is always unmatched. You know, that means our capacity to bounce back, to find hope in midst of whatever we call despair. So that after we've done all that, we'll cover what we call purpose in life. And back that with what we call faith, you know, instead of fear, we get out to our destiny. I just want to add that to it.
Thank you so much, Jamiro. And Simeon saying, one's mindset make a lot of difference. Thank you, Simeon. Your take home? Or maybe I should call some names.
Hello, Sola.
Yeah, Frederick.
Yes, my take home is information is a hallmark of resilience.
Information, hallmark of resilience. Thank you so much. Information. YG said, with YG, I don't know. YG said, when adversity strikes, keep a resilient mindset. That's Yebo. Keep a resilient mindset allows you to tackle problems head on. Thank you, Yebo. Overcome them and move on. It prevents you from becoming overwhelming and encourages healthy coping mechanism. Thank you so much, Yebo. Also, take home again.
Yes, sir. My own take home is remove negative information from your mind. It could not only be negative information, but if you're having negative people around you, sometimes they will try to kill the zeal, the resilience in you. So my own take home is going to be cutting off negative information from my mind and also people around me.
Thank you. Cutting off negative information from your mind. Thank you, Paul. There's a question in the chat. Jeremiah is saying, how do you avoid setting unrealistic expectations, which will eventually lead to disappointment and damage your resilience? Does somebody want to respond to that one in a sentence? Jeremiah said, how do you avoid setting unrealistic expectations, which will eventually lead to disappointment and damage your resilience? How do we avoid such?
Okay, so Sola, I think
go ahead, Frederick.
Yeah, to help in this contribution, just make simple plans. Let your expectation be simple, and then make them measure them in an achievable manner, and that will help you avoid that extravagant expectation that will lead to failure and disappointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederick. Frederick said to us, we should set smart goal. I'm coming to you, sir. Smart goal, it must be simple, it must be measurable, must be attainable, must be realistic, and it must be time bound. Those are some of the things that should guide your goal. Yes, sir.
Yes, and also to have those unrealistic goals, you should consult one or two people that you think probably they have experience or they have more knowledge on that area you want to strive. If you consult one or two people, they will tell you if it is achievable, or they will have to guide you also, or have mentor that you can consult.
Thank you. Yeah, Sir said you should consult people. Let me just add one more thing there, because we had just about 5 more minutes to go. When you know where you want to go, that's your target. 2, examine yourself. Between where you are and where you want to go, there is a gap. And that's what they call need assessment. You do a need assessment. The need assessment may be the resources that you have, the resources you have access to, and do I have enough resources to accomplish this one? If you don't, you may have to what? Re-strategize yourself. And you know, I gave some example at the time. Somebody is in the college, and they say, within the next 3 years, I must have my PhD. Do your research. Where are you now? I'm in year 3 in the college. How many years does it take to do masters? Oh, 1 year, 2 years. What on PhD? 3 years, 4 years. 3 plus 5, 5 years. Or 4 plus 2, 6 years. So if I setting a goal to have a PhD in 3 years, it's not realistic. So when you gather information, enough information, you're able to make informed decision. Jeremiah, are we able to look at, have we addressed it appropriately? Okay. So more comments and we round up.
Information helps me a lot also to be resilient. I need to gather more information to help me, to help myself in doing whatever work
I need to gather more information to help myself. Thank you, Jeremiah. We have seen your response. I think this is where any other comment, although we have 4 minutes, I promise that I won't take you beyond 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, in one word, if I were to describe this training, how will you describe it? You can just send in your chat or you can talk. In one word, just one word. If I were to describe this training, how will you describe it? Then I will hand you over to Andre. If I were to describe this training, I will also add that you should know your strengths and limitations and leverage your network. Thank you, Jeremiah. Okay, so I'll say helpful, informative. Thank you, Simeon. Resourceful, Jonathan.
I would say, Jamiru here, I would say timely.
So what?
Timely.
Timely, thank you. Ozobia said engaging. Just one word to describe this training. Timely, Paula I said timely. Douglas said uplifting. eye-opening. Jeremiah said eye-opening. Thank you. Douglas said uplifting. Andre Favdia, I think I can conveniently hand them over to you as we round up. Resourceful. Thank you, Letitia. Okay,
yes,
I want
sir.
to go ahead.
Yes. So I want to thank each and every one of you.